What's up, YouTube? Today I'm bringing y'all a loadout series. I guess I'm gonna go ahead and start one. It's going to be over what I suggest players using with certain weapons and certain attachments for that class or that uh, gun or whatever. Today I'm doing a review over the ump9, the G18, and all of the setups that I'm using right here. Okay, so on your ump9, what I preferably use is the Coyote RSD sights. The main reason I use those is because it's a better chance of a headshot, because the dot is just, to me, it gets like, helps me aim a lot better. And it also may help you guys with this weapon too. I also suggest green laser sight, because it is brighter than a red laser sight, and now there's a bigger chance of you blinding your opponents. Now, with the barrel, I suggest heavy barrel because you can actually take out people from medium range. If you want to use suppressor, I suggest you sticking with close quarter combat like rush or something else. But I suggest you using heavy barrel. And then on the grip, I'm using angle grip. The reason for this is because it is keeps the gun more stable, and it's just there. It's like, bro, just like you just can't deny that. To me, it helps with more accuracy and other stuff like that. Well, it actually deducts accuracy, but it's stability that I'm worried about. I had that all mixed up. And then the camo, whatever you guys feel like. Now with the G18, I preferably use ghost ring sights, and the reason is for that is because if you use these, the dot in the middle is so small, and it's so hard to see it. So I suggest you use your ghost ring sight. And I also suggest laser sight, even though I'm working my way up to green laser, but I suggest you using laser sight. Now with the suppressor, the only reason I chose this suppressor is because this gun shoots so fast that it's easier for opponents to pick you up on the radar. And if they pick you up on the radar, then there's a bigger chance you'll get found and killed. So that's me. And then for one of my gadget number one, I use the standard RPG. And then I use repair tool. I use the M67 frag grenade. I use a CB90. If y'all aren't Battlefield veterans, y'all won't get this knife. And then I use shadow. And then now I guess we can go get some gameplay with this. Well, right when we spawn. Now, when you're using ump9, I highly suggest you sticking with close to medium range. Now, if you throw on a suppressor, I highly recommend you staying at a medium range, not close range combat, or you won't get anywhere. I did not mean to hit that guy. I was trying to actually hit the AA gun. Uh, but the reason this gun is not very good at accuracy is because your SMGs really aren't supposed to shoot that far in reality. They don't really have that long of a range. Now, if you want to go with long range combat with your PDWs, I highly suggest you being on single or burst fire settings on the bottom of your D-pad. Just use that if you don't know how. But if you go medium to long range, I highly suggest using burst and single fire, or you just won't get anywhere with hitting people. Okay. Now, with the G18, if you are out of ammo on your ump9, I only recommend using the G18 when you run out of ammo on your primary. And the reason is because the G18 is a fast pull-out weapon, so you can just finish the job you started. That's what I use the G18 for. Now, unless you're playing recon. If you're playing recon class, put it in perspective. if you're playing as recon class, I highly suggest you moving around with your with this gun weapon out. This is actually one of the most popular pistols used for your recon. But that's just me. I just love the G18. But that's literally the only time I recommend you using your G18 at any point in time, is when you are out of ammo on your primary. Now, if you feel like going noob style, which sometimes I kind of feel like it just to see if I can get some people to rage on the game and send me some hate messages, I'll pull out the RPG and start killing infantry with it. So that's just me. I think it's fun in reality. And I also will highly tell you this. It is one of the weapons you definitely do not want to stay long range unless you're using your single fire shot. Now, if you're trying to kill somebody that's head glitching, I suggest using burst fire like I did, except, yeah, I screwed up. Now, when you also go in and look at the stats of the ump9 versus the ump45, the ump45, it only has a magazine size of 250 bullets, while the ump9 has a 30 magazine size, and its rate of fire is up by 100. Not to also mention its accuracy and hip fire and stability is twice as better than the ump45. Now, if you feel like going ump45, I suggest that y'all could steal my setup right there. That's what I use when I play Rush. I don't use this weapon when I play Rush because I'm just not that kind of player using a long accuracy weapon during Rush combat. But if y'all want to pause the video right now, y'all could steal that setup for my ump45. But yeah, that's the overall stats. Now, I will admit the ump45 has a better damage and range, but its accuracy is not as good as ours, and the hip fire is way less than ours, and also the stability. Now, don't get me wrong, there is a way to actually tame the stability on your ump45. You'll just have to go through and figure out the appropriate setup for the ump45. Oh, and also, not to mention, I am not one of those people that cut out every single part of my gameplay just to make me look good. I actually just let y'all sit there and actually own up to my mistakes. Just so y'all know, I'm not the best player out there. But I do know most of my weapons. Now, there are a few weapons I do not have. I do not have any DLC weapons. Back on the old gen consoles, I had DLC, but I don't anymore, sadly. Oh, Jesus. He was right there. Okay, there is also one more thing with the ump9. The ump9, you have to watch all of your sides. Because I will admit this, the ump9 is not the greatest weapon in the game. But in order to actually get a appropriate kill with the ump9 and keep that consistency going, I recommend you aiming for the upper chest or the head or the neck. Everywhere else will not be very effective with the ump9 unless you shoot first. If you shoot first, you are most likely to win your battles with the ump9. Now, the reason I say the ACB-90 is because, personally, if you are a Battlefield veteran from, like, Battlefield 3, Battlefield Bad Company, and all that kind of stuff, the ACB-90 is in a lot of these games. So I just recommend that knife, and plus there's really no difference to the knives. It's just for looks, basically. I'm gonna see if I can get some burst fire on these guys. Okay. Okay, and also one more thing. I highly recommend you do not throwing on the muzzle brake or the flash hider. What that will do is it screws up your stability and your accuracy overall. Now, if you are one of those people that like to max your gun out, this is one of those guns I recommend you playing TDM with the first time you use it. That's just me. I had to go newbie right there, even though I still screwed up. And whenever you use the ump9, I highly suggest you watch your trigger. Because whenever you use the ump9, it's if you are used to the ump45, when you switch over to the ump9 automatically, you'll see a huge change in the way of your finger, the way you use your trigger. Now, the way of using your trigger is the ump45 has a slower rate of fire. Now, whenever it has a slower rate of fire, you get to adapt it, and then you'll switch over to its younger brother, which is the ump9, and then you'll see that the fire rate is so much faster. And where that fire rate is so much faster, if you try to burst fire with the faster fire rate, it's not going to turn out pretty on your handle. I recommend you, the first time using this gun with no attachments, I recommend you going straight to TDM or Domination. Just to at least get a few sights and maybe a barrel if you can get it. But I do not recommend you throwing on a flash hider or a muzzle brake. That will actually just not work out too well. The only reason I'm playing Conquest Small is because this is not a very effective on Conquest Large. You're like your average Battlefield Conquest on next gen. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed this. If y'all have any different setups for me to try with the ump9 or a weapon you want me to upgrade so I can do a loadout on that, let me know in the description down below, and I will be glad to do a setup review over that weapon. Just let me know the pistol and the knife and your gadgets and your field upgrade. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video.